What's up, guys? Coach Jesse Minch here with Get Handles Basketball, here with Chris Barnard again to show you some awesome stuff to help you boost that vertical jump, some plyometric exercises that you probably haven't done before.
Absolutely, man. Thank you very much. So really my approach to plyometrics or jump training when it comes to a basketball player is kind of like a three-prong approach. You know, obviously we want to train that vertical jump, but before that vertical jump comes a lot of stabilization. So I need to teach an athlete how to actually absorb force before I actually go into teaching them to produce. Now, don't get me wrong. Even a 5-year-old, 6-year-old athlete on the basketball court is focusing on and doing different kinds of jumps already. So it's not that they can't do plyometrics. It's just from a training perspective, I like to teach the athlete to properly absorb. Reason being, when you see an elite athlete who's got crazy hops, usually it looks like they're just springing off a trampoline, right? Whereas if you take a young kid who's probably not as developed, you see him try to jump as hard as he can, and you see him squatting down as hard as he possibly, right? Because he hasn't really taught himself how to decelerate and absorb that force. So a lot of drills I like to do are things such as simple depth jumps or simple reaction jumps, where they're actually teaching to be able to absorb the force and then focusing on producing. So I might bring them through some kind of phase or variations of those.
Okay.
The next one is obviously the bread and butter. This is the rock star of it all, the vertical style jumping. And depending if the athlete's single leg or double legged, I'm gonna have them do a series of progressions where I'm moving them along. It might start off with a simple single leg box jump, double leg box jump, might progress to a seated box jump where we're coming from a static position. And then there's other variations where we can add resistance. I might have them hold some kind of medicine ball, hold it above their head so they need more stability, things of that nature. Finally, which I think is one of the keys to making a better basketball player when it comes to jump training that I think a lot of basketball players don't do, is actually jumping in different planes of motion. Basketball is played not just vertical up and down, it's also played laterally, right? So to be able to get that force and to be able to move an athlete laterally, I like to mix it up. I like to perform a lot of ski jumps. I like to perform a lot of single leg broad to 90-degree cuts. So if that athlete needs to jump, you know, especially one of the biggest things, right, is, forgive me, what's it called? The step back?
The snatch back.
The snatch back and then step back. So essentially they're coming out, boom, and then being able to hit a shot. So you're moving so many times in a basketball game in so many different planes of motion. So I believe that incorporating that style of jump training is essential, not only to be able to teach an athlete to absorb force, but then be able to pivot and produce force in a different plane of motion. Because if you think about it, if we just focus on, you know, going linear, and a basketball is played in all kinds of planes of motion, that athlete starts to lack. So I like to incorporate a lot of those. And that's really my approach to being able to have an all-encompassing basketball player when it comes to jump training.
That's awesome. Great stuff, Chris. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Make sure you guys check out his channel. I'm going to have it linked in the description down below. Subscribe. He's got a lot of great stuff for vertical, speed, strength, you name it. Anything athletic training, he's got you covered. As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.